Pardon me, young man. Am I right? You're the one with the interesting hobby?
Yes, I'm the one.
You're a philatelist, right?
No, I'm not a stamp collector.
Then you're a numismatist.
No, I don't collect coins either.
But you do collect things. Seashells? Rocks? Marbles?
No, words.
Words, of course. Would you bring out your word collection, please?
I already have it with me, up here.
Where do you get your words?
From reading.
Oh, yes, now I remember. You're Don, the good reader.
Well, that's what some people call me.
Isn't your hobby one of the reasons you're such a good reader?
I guess that's right.
In fact, isn't it also true that being interested in word meanings can help anyone grow in his reading ability?
Well...
I mean, look at writers. Good writers use great care in choosing just the right words to say exactly what they mean. The reader has to know the correct meanings of the words to understand the writer. So I think most writers would agree that a good reader has to be interested in word meanings, right?
Right.
So I would say that everyone, to some degree, can grow in his reading ability by improving his understanding of word meanings. Wouldn't you?
I suppose you're right. At least it works for me.
Would you show us one of the words in your collection?
Well, how about this one?
Oh, that's a good one. Twinite. How would you use it?
Our team won both games of a twinite doubleheader.
That's a rather new word, you know.
Yes, I know.
Formed from the two words twilight and night. Twinite. The word was invented to describe a baseball doubleheader, one game played after the other, beginning in later afternoon and continuing under lights through twilight and then into the night.
It's fun to watch for new words.
Yes, it is, because our language is a living thing. When there's a need for a new word, we make one up. When men began exploring space, we needed a name for the space explorers. We called them astronauts. A new kind of undersea explorers needed a name, too. Aquanauts. A new kind of breathing equipment made underwater exploration easier. It was a self-contained, underwater, breathing apparatus. This description gave us the name for the equipment. Scuba. But even though words like scuba and aquanauts and astronauts and twinite are fascinating to collect, what about the everyday sort of words that help you with your reading?
Oh, I've got lots of them. Here's one.
Sound? Do you mean sound as in the sound of a bell? A sound body, where sound means well or healthy?
No, I mean sound as in off the bank and into the sound I fell.
You mean the sort of thing that could happen in Puget Sound to people from Seattle, Washington?
That's right. You see, I'm not from Seattle.
So you didn't know a sound could be an arm or extension of the sea inland. How did you find out?
From the words around it, the context.
The words tell about Puget Sound, which is a narrow arm or inlet of the Pacific Ocean. That phrase does define sound.
You see?
That was very good.
Thank you. But the clues aren't always so easy to find.
For example?
For example, this word.
epidemic. You usually think of its being used like this.
I know, but I saw it used like this.
What did you think? Something like this?
Yes, at first, but that didn't really make sense. The sentence that followed helped explain the word.
Yes, the context helps you know that here, epidemic means just widespread. And it could apply to anything, not just an illness.
Right.
And from then on, you knew there was more than one meaning for the word epidemic.
I did.
Learning new meanings of familiar words is one part of reading growth. Have you ever learned the meaning of a word by phonetic analysis and syllabication?
You mean by sounding out the syllables? Sure. Here's one.
Very good. Did you mentally break the new word into syllables, then try to sound them out?
Yes, something like this. Precipitation. That didn't make sense.
So you tried other pronunciations.
Precipitation. I shifted things a little. Precipitation. And then the flash came. Precipitation.
Precipitation. And you knew the word when you heard it, didn't you?
Right. Rain is a kind of precipitation. I just didn't recognize the word when I saw it. But I did after that.
May I test your skill in sounding out some words?
Well, all right. Go ahead.
How about this one?
Well, P-Q, liar. No. Peculiar. That's it. Peculiar. I know that word. It means strange or odd, like the woman tried on a peculiar hat.
And the next time you see the word, you'll recognize it, won't you?
That sounds peculiar. I recognized it. Kangaroos are peculiar to Australia. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
Unless peculiar has another meaning here. It does. But that's something for you to look up later. Now, you've shown us how you use phonetic analysis. Do you ever use structural analysis to find the meaning of a word?
You mean look at the parts of a word? Sure. Look at this word. Prearrangement.
Use it in a sentence.
They met as if by prearrangement. First time I saw that word, I knew what it meant, even though I hadn't seen or heard it before.
You saw the parts of the word, didn't you?
Right.
You found the main part of the word.
The root. All words have them.
And you knew what it means to arrange a meeting.
Right.
Now you notice the parts that were added to arrange. Before the word?
The prefix. Prefix means placed before.
And the part after the word.
The suffix. Suffix means placed after.
And each was a prefix and suffix that you knew.
Right. Of course, arrange has a prefix too, but I don't think it changes the meaning of range, which means to rank or put in order, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's right. So let's go on. You thought the parts of the word through like this. The suffix meant means the result of doing what the root means. So in this case, arrangement means the result of arranging.
And I already knew that word anyway.
You added the prefix pre, which means before, and the meaning changed.
It sure did.
The prefix makes the word mean the result of arranging before. So if two boys meet as if by the result of arranging the meeting before, they meet as if by pre-arrangement.
Prearrangement. As if they had arranged it in advance.
That's a good example. Do you know many prefixes and suffixes?
I guess so.
Then let's get rid of these and let me test you.
All right.
We'll work with this word arrange. Suppose we let your mother arrange some flowers in a vase. What would you have to do to disarrange them?
The prefix dis means to do the opposite of the root it's attached to. To disarrange the flowers, I'd mess them up. But I wouldn't do that to my mother's flowers.
So suppose you just found them with this arrangement. Then you'd probably want to rearrange them.
The prefix re means to do whatever the root means again. To rearrange the flowers, I'd have to arrange them again. I'd change their arrangement.
In that case, you would be the flower arranger.
The suffix er means a person who does what the root means. The person who arranges is an arranger. That's what I'd be, all right.
That's very good, Don. Knowing prefixes and suffixes gives you clues to many words. For instance, if you know the prefix anti and the root freeze, then you know what the purpose of antifreeze is in an automobile. If you know the root computer and the suffix eyes, then you know what it means when you read about companies that computerize their operations.
You're right. That's how I knew the meaning of these words when I just saw them. Is there anything else I can show you from my collection?
No, I've seen enough, I think. And I also think I understand pretty well why you have such a large collection of words. If I can state it briefly, first, it's because you have skill in finding context clues. That helps you understand new meanings of familiar words. Second, because you're skilled in sounding out words, you can recognize a word that looks unfamiliar even though you know it. And third, your skill in finding word parts that are familiar helps you get the meaning of an unfamiliar word. And all this has led to your reading growth. Have I left out anything?
This.
The dictionary, of course. The dictionary can help you keep adding to your knowledge of prefixes and suffixes and the different meanings a word may have.
That's what I'm after now. That meaning of peculiar you tricked me with.
And you out there watching this film, do you want to know what that meaning is? Then look it up yourself. You'll find, as Don has, that learning more about the meanings of words can be a fascinating lifetime hobby that will also make you a much better reader.
It means...
Let them find it.